Good evening. Geography. Today we shall talk about gradient. What is gradient? You know, the land is not level. Some are higher than others. How do I know the steepness slope of the land? That's gradient. Gradient is the measurement of amount or steepness of the slope. That's gradient. This gradient, another one. Gradient is the rate of change elevation of land and horizontal distance. Because when you measure steepness, talk about the distance. Some mountain is very large on the ground, while some are what steepness cannot climb easily, while gentle slope is very wide. But we want to know the amount of steepness. That's a formula for that. Now, gradients is by the ratio vertical interval against horizontal distance. Now, gradient, the formula for that, gradient, this is VI, vertical interval all over horizontal distance. VI is equal to HE. Meaning that when the contour line, look at like a diagram now, there's a contour line, two mountains. Look at the mountain. Another one is here. You now take cross section of both. Less than x and greater than y. The distance from here to here is now determined how the slopeness or steepness of the mountain. First of all, that's a gradient. Now, let this exercise. The height of station X, is about 95 meters against station Y 215 meters. But distance apart of two of them is, we have about 8.5 centimeter. 8.5 centimeter. But we know that distance on the paper is centimeter, what on the ground is kilometer. You now convert centimeter to kilometer or kilometer to centimeter so that we have your answer in 1 unit. Let's work this out. According to this formula, the distance from y minus x is equal to the distance, that's HE. That's therefore 215 minus 95, we have 120 meters. That's 120 between the two contour lines. Like now, when we have a contour line like this, a mountain, interval can be 50-50 interval, as I was saying before. Now, when you cross section, maybe here is 915, here is 95. The distance from here to here is 8.5. Therefore, you subtract this x minus y, which is 215. This is 215 minus 95. You arrive 120. So therefore, now the formula applied for this is gradient is VI all over VE. That's it. X, y minus x, all over what? 2.5. Now, this, I forgot one thing to tell you about. The scale of the map, show the scale. The map has a scale. Each map has its own scale. Especially WAEC map or NACO map or African map is 1 ratio 50,000 is constant. But in other way, other small map, they have the division of that, but the main wide map is 1 is constant. So therefore, Remember that 1 centimeter on paper is equal to, 1 kilometer on paper is equivalent to 100,000 centimeter on the ground. It's constant. 1 kilometer is equal to 100,000 centimeter on the ground. So now, see the scale of the map. I said calculate the grade of the map. The scale is 1:50,000, meaning that this 500, half of it is 1:50,000. Remember what I've taught you before. That's the starting of the distance and measurement. Now let's work this out. The distance from the x and y is 8.5 divided by 2. Why 2? The scale is 1:50,000. But normal ratio, mass and the ground is 1:100,000. Half of 100,000 is 50. So divide by 8.2, which is 4.25. 4.25. Because you must, this thing, centimeter, you must convert to kilometer. Multiply by what? 1,000. 4,250. That's the distance on the ground. Now, the question that gradients VI all over HE, VI is 120 divided by 4250. Let me repeat again. Listen, this is the formula of gradient. The one we are using mathematics, the same thing, the one we are using geography are the same. Because to measure distance, the distance of a land. I said station X is 95, station Y is 215. All them in meter because we are measuring what? In paper. But the distance between of them in the diagram is 8.5 centimeter. But on the ground, because when the mountain, this is the mountain on the ground, but the paper contour, this is called contour line, the mountain on the paper. So in that case, the distance from here to here is 8.5. But on the ground, multiply by 100,000. Because 1 kilometer is equal to 100,000 centimeter. What do you do now? Since you have the scale of the map, 1:50,000 means that half of 100,000 is 50,000. So therefore, 8.5 divided by 2, you have 4.25 in kilometer. But because it's a centimeter, multiplied by 1,000, you have a 4,250. So this is the last formula now. 120 divided by 4,250. When you cancel it, you arrive at what? 1 ratio. Cancel. 1:35 centimeter. 35. This is the steepness of the mountain. This is the steepness of the mountain. The result can be expressed 1:50,35,000. 1:35,000. Meaning that the range of the mountain, when you are climb a hill, where the hill steepness, the what steepness that you cannot easily to climb, that's steep slope. But gentle slope you can climb easily before you reach apex, the height of it. But steepness slope, you cannot climb it easily. So we want to know why the mountains are very close together as a wall. To climb it is very hard. So this is the steepness of this mountain. Let's take another example. Now, find the average gradient between A and B with the scale of 1:50,000, and the distance of them is 9 centimeter. The contour line is 800 against 980. Let's work it down. Let's draw diagram see. I said this is the contour line. This is another mountain. They are joined together in this form. You do cross section. This version now, here's A, here's can A, here can B. Now, if you want to show this mounting on the paper, you do a scale. Make a graph. They give you graph for that day. Take your scale. They can best to you. So take your scale. You can make 50, 100, 1, because interval is 50-50 interval. What? 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Now you show the scale. I mean the mounting on the plain paper. It's shown in this form. Going up at the high point here. If the high point here is this now, the high point says 500. So when I reach 500, now come down. Pick another again, go up, coming down. This is the nature of the mountain by cross section. But now to get the steepness, how to climb the mountain, that you apply this formula. The vertical between two of them, now this A, this B. The vertical interval between A and B, you have to apply this formula. And distance from here and to end here. As far as the scale of map is 1:50,000. Now, I said, let's work this one see. Find the average gradient between A and B with scale of 1:50,000. 1:50,000. Because they gave you in check the scale first before any work, anything carry out any amendment gradient. Check the scale first. The scale is 1:50,000. And distance between of them from here to here is 9 centimeters. What do you do? Apply this formula. Say that $920. Yes, $920. 920, yes, 800. Now, apply this formula. See that 920 minus 800, you arrive at what? 120 meter. Now, the distance between of them, distance is 9 centimeters. The scale of the map, scale, 1:50,000. This is the procedure. Now, after do that, you now divide, because vertical all over horizontal. This is vertical. This is 920 minus 800 is 120. Divide by what? Distance of the ground. That's 120 divided by 9. This 9 is centimeter. Convert it, you have multiplied by 1,000. 120 divided by 900. 9,000, sorry. When you cancel it, we arrive 1:575. That is equal to 1:75. 1/75. Now, another list of working out the scale. To use scale now. To use scale, to use the scale, you can say 9 centimeters times 50,000. Thereby what? 100,000. Because I said the distance from one point to other on the ground paper multiplied by 100, that is constant. 100 is constant. Please, my student, anytime they ask you a question from this one place order, like now, if I say take distance from FGC's gate to the hostel. Now the FGC's gate to hostel, let's assume in the paper we have about 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters from main gate to the hostel. 7 centimeters, yes. Now, the scale, the map region of FGC, let's look at 1:400,000. So now, if you have to measure from here to this point, you multiply that FGC's gate. It is a 7 centimeter distance. The scale of the FGC, 1:400,000. Calculate distance on the graph. Simple. What do you do now? So I say 7 times 50,000 divided by 100,000. Whatever you get, that's your answer. Because if you want to work on the ground, multiply by 100,000. What is very constant? So whatever you get, that's your answer from the main gate to the our hostel. Likewise for this one now. Say 99 times 50 divided by 100,000. We cancel. Here 1, here 2. That's 4.5. 4.5 what? Kilometer. We are on the ground. That's your answer. That's gradient. So the last one I will give you intervisibility. Because the word intervisibility, something barrier your view. Like now, if anybody settlement, it's a settlement here now. Another settlement here now. Here. Anybody here, listen now, this settlement Y, here is Z, here is Y, here is X. Let me tell you, the settlement Y cannot see settlement X. But settlement X and Z can see settlement Y and also X because they are on top of the hill to get a target. This is what they are using to target an enemy on the ground. Because by this what? Intervisibility. Because what can barrier to see other things is means to climb up to over a that elevation to displacing any object on the ground. So you use this intervisibility. In that case, that's the formula of using of gradient. To know the step. Because some people are staying here can view. Depend of the word, not only the apex here can view other things also. That's why the mounting of any gadget to overshadow or overview any object on the ground. Also, the type of drainage pattern. Drainage, the line of movement of two parallel. So they are making that's the height determines the speed of velocity of water. Of water, assume. Because when water is high level to coming down to speed, why that? Because of the drain pattern determines the speed of water. But when water is under lower level, plain, the speed is not much. The speed is not much. That's why that they will make a waterfall from high level to come down with more speed. It's what determines what gradient. Tell us about the speed of water. Because if there's a mount like this down, the speed of water is coming down. It's very slow. It doesn't have enough force. It's because it's gentle slow. But any mountain like this, water is coming down. It's coming to full force. It's coming to full force. So that's how the gradient is working in geography. This is where we will stop before the vacate. Let me give you one example before doing exercise. Let me work one example. With this example I just give you now, follow your formal note, you will understand what I mean here. Now let's do for example. Find the gradient by x and y. That's horizontal distance or equivalent is 250, the contour line 250 against 100 all the meter. That's contour line. The distance between these two is 8 centimeter. How do you do it? Now check the scale of the map. The scale of the map is 1:100,000. They have given the scale 100,000. Now, how do you do this thing? Simple. Very simple. Convert this centimeter, because we are working on the kilometer, but multiply by, first of all, 250 minus 100. You arrive at what? 150. That's the difference between two contour lines. 150. This 150 now, simple say 8 times 100,000 of the 100,000 on the line, on the scale, map scale, 100,000. Divided by what? 100,000. When we cancel it, we arrive at what? 8. We arrive what? 8 kilometers. Because see, they give this scale of the map, what is 100,000? But actually, the scale on the ground also is 100,000. When you cancel it, we arrive what? 8 kilometers. So therefore, your answer is 8 kilometers. By convert this 8 kilometers to meter, by what? 100,000. You have convert to meter first. Times 100, 1,000 go to 100, 8,000, divide by 8, 150. Then so that you can see up. I said, let me start from here. This 8 centimeter distance between both sides is 8 centimeter. The scale of map 1 is 100,000. This 100,000 is constant because this sum on the ground is constant. When you cancel everything, you arrive at 8 kilometers. Now, let's see the steepness of the slope. Meaning that this 150, what's 150? This 150 because 250 minus 100 is equal to 150. Now we have 8 kilometers. Convert to something that can work everything easily. It's like 8, that's 150. 150 divided by 800,000. When you cancel, we arrive at 1 ratio. 1 ratio what? 53.5. This is what you have arrived this in the second answer, second example. I said 250 against this station A, B. 250 different contour line against 100. We subtract it from the mathematical interval. We have about 150. Yes. Distance between of them is 8 centimeters. Now, the scale map 1 ratio. First of all, work out the distance first. What I used to measure our school gate to hostel. That's this centimeter, this distance times scale map all over 100,000. This is constant because we are working on the ground. We are about 8 kilometers. But now, let's go to our formula. That vertical over horizontal distance means that 150 divided by 800,000. When it comes, we have that 1 ratio 53.3. So that's a gradient. Now, and second comment, I'll give you take home assignment. When we are resuming, we are treating this topic, but write comprehensive note on action of running water. Action of running water. Action of running water. We have 3 sections here. We have upper course, we have middle course, and lower course. And then the advantage or importance of this upper court against lower court. Because this one has a force. Here is what's stagnant, can move slowly. But then the advantage of upper court and middle court and lower court.